Hey superfans, it is Fit Nerd from Superheroes Ultimate, and today we are gonna do the unboxing for Amazing Spider-Man Wave 12 from Marvel Legends. And this is the Far From Home wave, so I'm super stoked. If you're new to this channel, then hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications button so you can stay updated in the here and now in the superhero world. And wanted to take a moment and give a big shout out to Performa with their cool gear with shaker cups, wristbands, all officially licensed, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, and so much more cool gear. Check out the description below and use code FITNERD15 and you will get 15% off your entire order. First on the list we have Spider-Man himself. Alright, so this Spidey figure does not come with a Build-A-Figure part, which is pretty smart because all the other ones, that means you need all the other ones in order to build that Molten Man Build-A-Figure. But if you want to complete the wave with the, this is the actual suit, the new suit that's being introduced in the movie with the black shading, but it's definitely like a blackish suit, which is actually the original looking suit, like in Amazing Fantasy number 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man himself. So I'm kind of digging that because this is totally homage to the original Spidey. This is how his suit originally looked, and this is as Spider-Man as it gets. Check out the eyes, the webbing, the texture in the actual suit. You can actually see it on the figure, which is pretty cool. Flexibility wise, he's Spidey, so he should be pretty damn flexible. Of course, he can almost just about reach his butt, but he can do a full split almost. Yep. Full side split. Yep. And you could pose him in various Spidey ways. And his hands, you can see right here, I guess you can get a different accessory or kind of make your own type of webbing or use string or something, because he does have the grip on one hand, and he does come with two different hands here that you can switch up, so you can shoot webbing from both of them. There you go. Or he could just have the kind of a fist on both of them. See, it's an open hand though. As you can see, it's meant to hold a webbing, but it doesn't come with it. That is Spidey. I'm digging it. Next up, we have the Master of Illusions, Mysterio. Right, so there is the Mysterio figure from Marvel Legends. The head does move. I don't understand why you would need to, because, well, it's literally a fishbowl. It has no face or anything. It's just, if you move it around, it's always the same exact face. But the shine on it, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's kind of like a purplish, glittery, sparkly look to it. Totally digging it. Loving the detail, even the little Illuminati looking thing. You see the eyes there. You could see the detail in the bracelets type of thing. Now his hands, doing that illusion hands right there. There you go. Which I am digging. He does come with part of the Build-A-Figure. If you look at his hands though, you could switch him up to the fist ones. He does bring two other sets of hands. Well, one more set of hands, I should say. There you go, right here. So if you want to, you can just make him fist fight Spidey, which I still believe he is a villain. Obviously, it's Mysterio. He tricks everyone. I am totally digging the detail in the cape. Like the inside of the cape, you can see the little bit of lining and those little diamonds. But just the fact that it has that little bit of a detail in it, it looks like a little bit of paint might have ran from when they did the figure itself on the little diamonds. This looks like the brush might have brushed up there, which is okay. I'm okay with that. Look at this. The back of it even has a paint job. I mean, they actually went the extra mile and did a paint job on the back of the cape. They could have just kept it all purple and just an outline, that's it. But they actually went in there and colored in, painted the little tiny diamonds in there. They painted this on the back, which I'm pretty sure was like a mold, and then they stamped it, and then that's it. But it's still an extra mile in detail. And of course you could remove the cape, if you can see right here. There's a little thing on his back, and you could just place it right there so it can actually stay in place. Now the texture on the suit, if you look at the arms, that metallic shine, which I love. I mean, this is the same type of metallic shine, I believe, the same type of paint that they use for the Captain Marvel wave, and I was loving it, and I love it in this Mysterio figure. I actually like this Mysterio figure more than the other Mysterio figure from I believe it's wave 10. But just the detail on this one looks really badass. And he does come with the Build-A-Figure part of the Molten Man, which is a humongous leg. Look at the size of this thing. Next up we have the Stealth Suit Spider-Man. Right, so the infamous and famous Spider Stealth Suit, which was one of the leaked photos that came out a very long time ago. People were thinking that it was Spider Noir. I could see where they got that. I mean, this is definitely a very Spider Noir vibe to it, especially with the goggles right here. The suit itself, I mean, this is probably going to be the hottest one of the wave. I'm definitely calling that this is going to be the hottest one out of the wave, because it just looks really sleek, really cool, really nice little detail on the suit itself, from where it's like a matte finish and then a shine or a gloss. That type of difference in the suit itself, I mean, it makes a big difference in detail. If you want to remove the lenses, technically all you have to do is swap the head. So if you swap the head, check it out, it doesn't flip, it doesn't open or close. That is literally why, I guess, the purpose of the mold, just so you could remove the lenses and then you could see his eyes. Alright, so we switched up the head, and that's how it looks. It does actually make a big difference. I was actually talking a little bit of trash because the head mold was, you had to change it in order to basically change the lenses, but it does make a bit of a difference, and they both look pretty cool. I gotta admit, flexibility wise, he is obviously Spidey. He doesn't reach all the way to his butt, but I mean, he can still do quite a bit of articulation as far as what Spidey's supposed to look like. And then you can swap out the hand, and that's how it would look like, shooting at some webs. To build a figure, which for the likes of me, when I removed it out of the package, I couldn't figure out what the hell that piece was up until I take a closer look at this ginormous arm. Really look at it. It's ginormous. His part of the Build-A-Figure actually comes with a little piece that is an attachment that goes right there. So if you're wondering what in the heck this red piece was for, it took me a little bit to figure it out. I had to look around the arm and just see what the hell it was for, and it actually just slips right in here like that. And then when you really take a close look, it's actually one of those metal beams that you see in buildings, and I think it was just melting in his arm or something. So I guess that's for the additional look. So he does come with the Build-A-Figure piece. We have Hydro Man. Alright, so Hydro Man doesn't actually come with any accessories, really. Just in the packaging that you just see it right there. On his feet, it's kind of like some water, or his feet are turning into water, but that's actually the accessory right there. So if you take it off, then you see that he has regular shoes, his boots, and his jeans. This Hydro Man reminds me of the animated Spider-Man, the animated series, a whole hell of a lot. I mean, he looks exactly like him. He's basically just jeans and a black shirt, and then his hands just look freaking awesome. They totally look like his hands are made out of water. Check it out. They're ginormous. No, you cannot change them or anything. It doesn't, but they do actually move. So if you look at his hands, they actually do move. Like his hands are big enough that they actually fit around his waist, and you could actually hold Spidey right there. His other hand also doesn't have too much articulation on the hand because it's a fist, so it doesn't turn like this one. This one can actually move right here. This one doesn't. It does have that little piece of articulation right here, right under the shoulder. His shoulders do not open all the way up. This is as wide as it goes. Since his hands are so heavy, you kind of need to make sure you pose them in the right way, otherwise that's gonna happen. His hands do move quite a bit, so the best bet is actually just to put them down so everything's like in an even balance, just like that. But he does look pretty cool. I mean, I like the sculpt. I like the hands. I like the attachments on the feet. And he does come with a piece of the Build-A-Figure for the Molten Man, which is the head of the Molten Man. Again, with the metallic paint job, which I truly love. Very cool looking mold. We have Doppelganger. Alright, so this guy is basically a clone of Spider-Man gone seriously wrong. His outfit is the classic Spidey outfit. He completely has the complete look to it. Obviously he has the mutated 6 arms, which did happen to Peter Parker at some point because the mutation just kept on going. But this dude is like a combination of Spidey with Venom, without the symbiote, but with demi-goblin blood to him. So he's literally a freak. His hands obviously have 3 fingers. He has 6 arms. He has all the powers of Spidey. When he shoots out his webs, I mean, I particularly remember him from Maximum Spider, the storyline. So I do love this character because, I mean, it's a freaky looking Spider-Man villain. His hands are like his feet are like claws. Look at this. He's just a really scary looking version of Spider-Man without being venomized. So he did not have to be venomized to look this creepy and have these sharp ass teeth. He doesn't bring any accessories with him. No different set of hands or another head. Not that he needs it. I mean, he looks freaking awesome. He's totally like straight out of the comics, and I'm actually really psyched to get this one. So, I mean, he doesn't have different accessories to his hands or a separate head or anything, but I mean, you could actually switch up the hands here wherever the hell you want. That's pretty freaking cool. I love the emblem. I love the classic blue look. This is definitely an awesome figure. I am totally digging it. Now, to stand him was a little bit of a challenge because his feet are so weird, but once you actually figure it out, I mean, that just looks freaking awesome. Look at him. He's a scary looking dude. Oops, my bad. Oh, again, damn it. But yes, once you get to figure it out and you balance him out, he looks freaking awesome. And he does come with a piece of the Build-A-Figure for the Molten Man. And you can see right here, this is how I actually figured out the other one. That this is like a piece of those beams, those metal beams are inside the buildings, and I guess he destroyed a building and they're just like sticking out of him. Then we have Spider-Woman. Completely take Spider-Woman out of the package. You can clearly see she has the majority of the Build-A-Figure torso, I guess this is, of Molten Man. I mean, it's huge. It's bigger than her. See, it comes out right here. Boom. That's the Build-A-Figure piece that she comes with. So she comes with the main pieces of the Build-A-Figure for Molten Man. When I think about Spider-Woman, I always think about the animated series of Iron Man. This is where I have seen her the most. I didn't really read her comics so much. From what I know in her comic books, the few that I have read, she is a total badass. And she does not take crap from anyone. She's pretty actually hardcore. Her sculpt is obviously very Venom, like this is definitely the Venom logo. I mean, did anybody ever realize that this is the Venom logo and like the black suit with the white. This is very Venomized without the symbiote itself. This figure is classic Spider-Woman. And for all you new school, which are familiar with Gwen Stacy's version of Spider-Gwen, which is also called Spider-Woman. She has taken the mantle of the Spider-Woman. This is the OG Spider-Woman, and I love this figure because it is the classic version of Spider-Woman. Look at that. I mean, look at the eyes. The hair looks awesome. It's not one single color. Like the way they painted the hair just looks incredible. Really cool detail. It does come with an accessory, which is actually the change in hands. She doesn't need web shooters, so she does possess the ability to shoot out webs, unlike Spidey, which needs to wear those little tiny things on his wrist with cartridges, web cartridges, and make his own web. Spider-Woman is basically like Venom. Now that I think about it, I've never really thought about it as a kid 20 years ago, but she basically has a lot of Venom going on here. The Venom outfit, the Venom looking symbol. She's freaking Venomized. She's the OG Venomized spider. Look at this. This is pretty awesome. And like we stated before, you see the gigantic pieces that she comes with of the Build-A-Figure. It's actually, this is the torso, this is the back of it, and then you put them together, and then you will get the piece of the Build-A-Figure for the Molten Man. Last but not least, we have the Scorpion. All right, we have the Scorpion in the house, and his tail is freaking huge, and it moves. You can actually pose it, and I'm really hoping that this dude, this Scorpion, this version of Scorpion is the one that we see in the movie, or the one that they hinted at the end of Homecoming with the guy with the tattoo. This would be freaking epic to see on screen. We have not seen a Scorpion yet. He has the metallic shine to it. I love this suit. I mean, it just looks like the freaking, it reminds me of the animated series Scorpion. And I love that the stinger the tail can move. I mean, I believe you can remove it from here, from the back. But why the hell would you want to remove it? That's part of the Scorpion. You could use the tail as a support in the back. He doesn't come with any additional accessories except for a piece of the Build-A-Figure. He does bring the last piece of the Build-A-Figure, which is one of the legs of the Molten Man. Right, so we have all the pieces of Molten Man Build-A-Figure. These are all the pieces, including the one that we attached over here, which I couldn't figure out for a little bit, but that's where it goes. It's one of the beams. You can see the other beam right here. They're melting into his arm, which is a really cool effect. All right, without further ado, let's build him up. All right, so that is the Build-A-Figure for the Molten Man. He has one ginormous arm right here. Look at the size of that thing. It's almost the size of his body. It's huge. His legs are obviously like definitely not they're deformed, I guess you could say, because he has one. You can see this is like a foot, and this is just a big blobby mess. So Molten Man is basically just a big giant piece of lava, I guess you could say. And you can see the beams right here melting right into him. But he looks pretty cool. I gotta admit, he's just a big blobby thing, and then you can actually appreciate all of the detail in it to make it look like a Molten Man. Like, look at all the orange in the back. Articulation wise, he can move at the torso right here. He actually has some mobility, not too much, but he does. His legs can move back. Look at that. They do have articulation. This leg does actually, oh, see, it comes off really easily. So this leg itself, I mean, you have to just make sure you put it in there. And then he has a little bit of articulation here, and he has a type of knee right here. So if you pull too hard on it, his leg will come off because he doesn't have too much articulation. And this one right here, it's more like a stubby leg. And then this arm right here does have articulation also. Right here at the elbow, it has an elbow joint. And then his hand, kind of like the Hydro Man, which is a huge hand. See, it comes right off. But he does have articulation on it. He can move it up and down. He can turn it around. He has an elbow right here. Again, you can kind of use his arm like he would be holding on to Spidey. So if you want to see the size comparison to Spidey, I mean, he dwarfs Spidey. Look at that. He's huge. So you can use his hand right here, kind of like holding him. I mean, but I guess if he were to grab him in the movie itself, he would just kill him because he's molten lava kind of thing. But yeah, pretty cool. This is the Build-A-Figure of Molten Man. There you go. That is the Amazing Spider-Man Wave 12 Far From Home Wave. This is the official wave for the Far From Home movie, which includes the Mysterio, the black suited, classic looking, this is my favorite suit, Spider-Man suit, Molten Man Build-A-Figure, which is right there, and hopefully to see these two villains in the Far From Home movie. I don't know about him. I hope he will eventually show up in the MCU at some point, which would be freaking amazing. And Spider-Woman, I hope they just do a solo movie before they even introduce her into anything else, because Spider-Woman deserves a solo movie, and it would be just as huge. I mean, seriously, it would be just as huge as anything else if Spider-Woman were to have her own solo movie. That would be just absolutely freaking epic. My faves are definitely the villains and then the heroes. And I love that Spider-Woman. I mean, this whole entire wave, pretty much almost the whole entire wave is just a solid wave. Love it. If you want one of your own, then hit the description below. That is our shop where we have a limited availability of this wave. So many of them have already been sold due to pre-sales, pre-orders. So whatever is left, take a look at the description below at shopsuperheroesultimate.com, and I will see you on to the next. This is Fit Nerd, over and out. Hey superfans, unleash your inner superhero with these super compression shirts, tank tops, leggings, shorts, t-shirts, and even costumes. Link in the description below.
3, 2, 1, a boom!